Mike, you're going to have to run me through, and fans, I got a chance to talk to Robbie yesterday on the phone, and I want you to tell me this story that you told me about Michael Jordan, when you and Michael Jordan kind of came to, kind of little differences about your opinion about how the game was played when you played with Chicago with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, how the if you want to call it a confrontation came about. Field was alternating players, second team on the first team on the second team. And so we were scrimmaging. We played like 6 games of going to 5 points. And so after the first 2 games, Field put me with the second unit where I always play with, my boys, and then he put Longley back with the first team. Luke Longley, that's his name. And so we proceeded to kick their butts like 4 straight games. And Michael took offense to it. So I asked him, how did he like that butt whooping?
No. This is a real podcast. How you like that ass whooping? That's
I didn't know whether it was a family show or not.
This ain't family. We good.
But since I don't have to use a filter, I asked him, how did he like that ass whooping we just put on him? And he took offense to it because clearly no one ever manned up to him, challenged him. So he said that he was gonna say that if I wasn't careful, he was gonna kick my ass. And I told him, like, I'm not in awe of you. I played with some of the baddest fellas that walking the court, and I reeled off some names, I'm calling him like Cedric, the Bird, McHale, Bill Walton, Tiny, and I'm supposed to be in awe of you. He's looking at me like I had slapped his mother.
I love that story. Then you went even further, and I think you talked about one of the rookies came over to you and said, man, I can't believe you talked to Michael like that.
Yeah, Derek Dickey couldn't believe that I talked to, Michael like that because clearly, Michael was the alpha. He was his team. He ran the ball club, and everybody kind of like got out of his way and let him do his thing. And I understand that. But like I said, I'm not in awe of him. I was a champion when I came there. And with all due respect to he and Scotty and Dennis Rodman, I'm young number hanging from the rafter, the guys I just named hanging from the rafter, not to mention I played with some Hall of Famers, and I'm supposed to be in awe of him. And not to mention, Cedric, let's not forget, even though he dropped 63, we stepped all in his ass, did we not? I rest my case.
I absolutely love that story because people for a while have been talking about, well, Michael Jordan was a bully. And I said, I remember when we played with the Celtics during the 80s, we didn't have nobody who was a bully. We were just like a team that, if we had anything to say to each other, we said it, but there was never any confrontation. We just went on and played.
Well, for yourself, Cedric, everybody got their own style and the way they lead. Michael was in your face. He challenged his teammates. And as you know, Larry was our leader, but Larry led by example. He wasn't a vocal leader. He let us play dictate how we should play. And I think Larry's style and philosophy makes the best leaders. Because if you are yelling and screamer, after a while your voice falls on deaf ears, and the players just kind of tone you out. They don't hear what you got to say. So I respect both leadership styles, but I prefer Larry's style the best. Because some nights you don't want to hear what he got to say. Speaking of Michael, he all up in your face talking trash. He might get a short right, Max. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna tell it like it is.
This is what this job is about. This is why I wanted you on my podcast, just to tell it like it is. Yeah. Now, Horace Grant did something the other day on Bet Online, and they were doing a segment, and they talked a little bit more about some of the things again about Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And all you hear seems like it's a conflict, because on one hand, Horace Grant, who was there, on another hand, you were there. The story seems to be a little bit different than just Michael Jordan being the nice guy. who just wanted to win. It seems like it was a lot about Michael for Michael's sake.
Oh, well, you know how the hierarchy plays, Max. You know, the bigger the talent, the more tolerance you have for that talent. You know, that old saying, we all treated the same, but we treated differently. You know that saying?
Your fish, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Michael definitely could wear on you because he has such a strong personality, very vocal, you know, almost to the point of being confrontational, because he get right up in your personal space, talking trash. So I tell you what, I'm glad I wasn't a teammate. I would have made the ground rule from the start. And if he did it again, I'm throwing punches. Because, you know, that's one thing I always liked about us, you know, the Celtics, is we respected one another. You know, we talk a lot of trash every day, you know, about each other, but it's always that respect. I can't think of one teammate that did not respect one another. We always respected one another. And I think that's where Michael crossed the line. He don't always respect his teammates, but he demand perfection. I feel like if you're gonna demand perfection, which is impossible to do, by the way, you gotta give some respect. Let your teammates know you give a crap about them. Wow. And that's something that I always thought like he lost sight of.
Well, let me ask you this. What did Phil Jackson do when it came to that? Tell me a little bit about Phil, because I love this one story I'll tell that you told me. I love it when Phil Jackson came to you and said, big fella, when you played with Chicago, he said, big fella, we ain't gonna need you this week. Go take a vacation, stay home. I love this story. You know, that was so fun to me.
Phil was the best. When I signed with the Bulls, I had a 2-year deal, and after training camp, he told me, Robert, I want you to know you're not gonna play a lot. There are gonna be weeks, sometimes maybe a month before you play it. The only thing I ask of you is that you keep yourself in top physical condition. And that's the least I could do, said stay in shape, didn't have to play. So that was a great way to finish up, but getting back to answer your question, Phil, like most coaches, left the locker room alone. He let the players figure out the hierarchy, how the locker room was going to be governed. And I think in Michael's case, there was a mistake, because he just took it and ran with it, because he bullied those guys. And you know what, Cedric, what bothered me about that? They didn't have the balls to say nothing about it, the teammates. Man, Cedric, there's no way we'd have took that from Larry. There ain't no way, Max. Come on now, you know it's true. There ain't no way we would have tolerated that behavior from Larry. And he was our leader. No way we'd have tolerated that. You know what I mean? This old saying I have, and I know I can say this because you said this is not a family show. It bothers me, man, you know, the ass kissers. That bothers me. Only time you should kiss some butt, Cedric, is doing sex. That's it. That's it, Cedric.